Hello everyone, today we are going to be taking a little deep dive into the phylogenetic tree that I have made for Lethal Company. It is basically just a way that things are classified as species, and it shows how things might be related in terms of evolution. So I have 3 trees here, one of which is based on Earth taxonomy. Taxonomy just means the way that things are classified, like the Dewey Decimal System for books, but for species. And this means, like, for example, the bunker spider, it is an arachnid in the family Theraphosa, and that is a real family of spiders on Earth. The kidnapper fox is also part of a real family of Canidae, which is just canines, dogs, foxes, wolves, and such. But these things are rooted on Earth, and this is found in their bestiary. So everything that has real-world connections is in here. The dark red over here is things that do not have real-world connections. Like, for example, the bracken is classified in the bestiary as Rapax folium, which is not a real genus or species that is found on Earth. So everything like that is in this little tree. This last tree, which is red, represents things are incorporeal or dubiously like supernatural to some extent, and might not be rooted in like real world biology, but rather something else. This includes the ghost girl, the barber, jester, things like that. So we are going to start with the biggest tree first, which is the real world connections, and we're going to start at the top with Eukaryota. Eukaryota classifies basically all living things, and it's been a second since I've taken a biology class, so if I get things a little bit wrong, please feel free to correct me. Also, please be patient. Thank you. Eukaryota basically classifies all living things, and the reason that we have the hydrogear branching off is because it is more of an amoeba of some sorts than a multicellular organism, and it just doesn't fit with anything else. The vein shrouds are, of course, plants, Phlebodium ruber. They are not animals, they don't have backbones or jaws or anything like that, so they don't fit in with anything else either. They're in their own little area. So then we go down to Chordata. Chordata means animals with backbones, so if it has a spine or something like resembling a spine, like an exoskeleton, it will go into a Chordata. We're going to go to the left first, so we're going to go with Gnathostomata, which just means jawed vertebrates, animals that have bones or something like bones and jaws. And we're going to see the first branch off here with the thumper, Hystrosavus. The thumper is related to sharks and not much else. So we're going to go to Amniota. We see some more branching off here with the manticoil, Quadrupes manta, which is related to corvids and passerines, so birds like crows or ravens. Then we are going to go to the spore lizard, Lacerta glomerulorum, which is related to alligators. And the spore lizard is said in the bestiary to have been partially domesticated before something happened to whoever was trying to domesticate them, which I find really interesting because it does sort of look like a pet alligator in that it has a shorter jaw and a different coloration, but who knows if that came from domestication. Anyways, we have Boreoeutheria, which basically classifies mammals that are fed by the placenta when they are in their mother's womb, which means just, well, you know what a placenta is, being fed by that rather than like coming from like eggs or something like that. So we have the kidnapper fox, Vulpes raptor, and then we have the baboon hawk, which comes from the family Cercopithecidae, which is like a family of baboons. You might have been able to guess that. And then this is a family of foxes. We go to the right now and we see Protostomia, and Protostomia means the mouth developed before the anus, and this means that it includes worms and arthropods and mollusks and all that good stuff. Starting off with another branch off, we see the earth leviathan, which is known as Hemibdella gigantis. This is basically a supersized worm in terms of evolution. It just really grew in size. We go down to Arthropoda, and then we see bunker spider here, Theraphosa ficedula. We talked a little bit about how this is a real genus, but Ficedula is not a real species. We see this a couple of times in this tree where they will have a real genus but not a real species. And
the snare flea is known in the bestiary as Dolus solopendra. It is also noted to be part of the family Chilopida, which is a family of centipedes.
Then we go to Insecta. A lot of people might think that spiders and different bugs are more closely related than they actually are, but you can see here it's actually a little bit more distant. We go to Insecta and we see roaming locusts and Acridium vega, which are related, of course, to locusts, and the man-eater Periplaneta clamorus, which is related more to cockroaches, which is a little bit gross, but oh well. And they are more closely related than, say, over here when we go to Neoptera, which I think is a little bit interesting due to how different they behave, but you know, that's the fun thing about evolution. We go to mask hornets. I put a question mark here because mask hornets may or may not be more related to real-life hornets and bees, or they may be more of a supernatural thing as they are shown to puppet the butler, and that requires some level of finesse that normal bees don't really have. So they are a question mark because they, first of all, don't have a bestiary entry, so I have nothing to help me out here, and second of all, I don't really know where they go. But I do know where the circuit bees go, which is Crabro coruscus, related of course to bees, and hoarding bugs, then Epithema crassus, which is more related to, like, I want to say moths and winged insects. Well, bees are also winged, but you know what I mean. Other winged insects. Anyways, that covers the real life tree. So we're gonna move on to the other two. So you're going to notice immediately that the kingdom, which is the most broad category in the real world trios Eukaryota, is unknown. And a lot of this is honestly unknown, and part of it was just me sorting things where I think they might go and trying to find similarities between species. The bestiary helps a little bit, but not too much, because of course this is all made up for Lethal Company, so I did my best here. We're starting off with the coilhead branching off, Vir colligaris. This is because it is sort of unkillable. I know there were some extreme conditions mentioned in the bestiary for it, but with like shovels or shotguns, you cannot kill this thing, so that differentiates it immediately from everything else. So it is right here. Coilhead, I want to say this means like stitched together man or something like that, but you'll have to fact check me for that because I don't quite remember. Then we go down to the killable species, which of course is unknown. It doesn't really have a name, like maybe Chordata has a name, but this doesn't. I then decided to group these by climate because I wasn't sure how else to do it. We're going to start off with the temperate species, which, like, you know, like forests and grasslands and such. That's a temperate zone. We're going to branch off here with the tulip snake, Draco tulipa. Draco actually, I believe, means dragon, and tulipa means tulip. So this literally means tulip dragon, which is just a little fun fact. Then we go down to hostile species. Tulip snakes obviously can get you killed in extreme circumstances, but are not trying to kill you. They're trying to do a mating ritual. In the bestiary, it said that it's sort of like a mating ritual to try and impress a potential mate with how far they can carry you, but hostile species are genuinely trying to kill you, and this includes the bracken, Rapax folium, and the forest keeper, which is Satyrid proceratus. It is noted that the bracken and the forest keeper are actually distantly related. They might be evolutionary cousins of some sort, so they are put together, and they are the only species that are noted to be related, so I had a little bit of help here, but not anywhere else. The desert species is over here to the right, and this has one species, the eyeless dog, Leo casus. Not much to be said about this. Leo does mean lion, which I believe is a reference to their other nickname of breathing lions. Those last two trees are all things that have roots in real world biology. Well, not real world, but just biology in general. Now we're going to go into the really unknown zone, which is things that, again, might be incorporeal or undead or otherwise not quite a living creature. And we're going to start with another unknown kingdom. We're going to see two things branch off. This is the incorporeal family, so things that might not have a solid existence, like you can see the ghost girl but others can't, the barber can only be seen when you're near it, like things like that. So that includes the ghost girl and the barber. Then we go down to the corporeal species, which are things that can be seen by anyone, are definitely rooted in reality. This branches off to the undead species, which include the butler and the masked. The butler appears to be a bloated corpse, puppeteered by these mask hornets. I wasn't sure whether to put the mask hornets here or in the other tree, but the butler definitely belongs here. The mask, I'm not sure if it can be classified as undead. I know that players killed by masks then turn into masked, so that is why I put it here, but I'm not too sure about that one, so let me know what you think. The other one would be cremamorphs, which is a word word, that means it has inanimate object qualities, and you're gonna see what I mean when you see the Nutcracker and the Jester. The Jester obviously comes from some sort of wind-up toy box, and the Nutcracker, of course, is based on the little toy. So these have qualities of inanimate objects, and thus are grouped together. So that would be all the trees of Lethal Company. I hope you enjoyed this video. I have not made a video, certainly nothing like this, in a very long time. So if you're interested, please do let me know. This was mostly just a little pet project of mine, but I had a lot of fun with it, and I hope that you guys had fun watching this, so thank you. I want to give a huge shout out to my friend Soup, who helped edit this. I'm gonna put her YouTube channel in the description, so definitely check her out. She's really cool. And also, old birds are not mentioned in this at all because they are not animals or anything of the sort. They are robots, so I did not forget them. They just are not important for this. Sorry. They're really cool though.